With the legalization of laneway homes in Vancouver, the city was subject to an explosion of really innovative small space design, and this next house that we're about to visit is a great example of that, albeit with a very Japanese edge. Hi Tamiko, lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And it is wonderful to see this absolutely beautiful home here.
Oh, thank you.
First of all, can you tell me, what was it that inspired you to build a laneway home?
Well, my husband passed away. We used to live in North Vancouver. We had a big house, kids were gone. And the family had said, well, why don't you move in with your mom? And so I was thinking, that's a little bit too close. And then the idea of a laneway house came up. And that's what inspired me. It's like, it's possible, it's doable. And my husband's brother said that he would design something. So I was like, okay, I'll put my trust into you that you'll do something. And that's where we started. The main idea was to be close to my mom, you know, because I had gone through this very traumatic experience. And so the family on both sides just felt that I should be with somebody. So that was the main thing. And then after that, once we decided on, you know, that we're going to have a laneway house, my brother-in-law basically took over and said, okay, it's not going to be a cookie cutter. You know, we're going to do something that's a little bit more innovative. And I think that he really took it to heart and really worked on that. So I knew nothing about architecture or design or anything like that. And so I'm really grateful that I have these people around me that did this. So my brother-in-law, who is an amazing architect, my friend who was the interior designer, and she passed away a year after the house was built, and then the contractor, her husband, who was my husband's friend. So it was all very much a labor of love. Everybody was involved and was adding their 2 bits, and so it was really nice, and they took care of me, which was great.
The design of this home is really something quite special. It's very unusual with its lines and its edges. Can you tell me what inspired the aesthetic of this home?
It's a combination of very modern design that my brother-in-law really wanted and being different.
Right.
So what he wanted to do was more follow, who am I? You know, what makes me different or my mom different? And it was just that we come from an Asian heritage, so let's try using some of that. And that's when he thought of the Wabi-Sabi, you know, the imperfection and the beauty of imperfections. And so you've got these beautiful straight lines, but you also have wood, you know, that you can see different patterns on. And the staining of the cedar shingles, they're hand painted and they age at different rates. And it's that imperfection that just contrasts so much with the straight lines.
Yeah.
And this house is built in a hill. The lane goes down, so the house is actually built into the hill. So when you look at the windows there and you say, oh, it's nice and bright, but it's actually at ground level. And it just gives this feel of spaciousness, even though it is sort of like a basement laneway house.
What size is the home?
640 square feet.
And what were you living in before the laneway?
I was living in a suburban house, 2,000 square feet, and plus a basement, 4 bedrooms, lots of space, huge yard, and so I had to do some serious downsizing.
Yeah, what was the downsizing process like for you?
Well, it was all combined with grieving over my husband and a delayed grieving over my kids moving out, going to university and all that sort of thing. But I had to get rid of everything, basically. All the furniture was gone. Basically, I wanted to get everything brand new and start all over again. So that's what I decided to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the exterior of this home is just so unique and interesting, and I cannot wait to see what it looks like on the inside.
Okay. Come on in.
Thank you. This is absolutely beautiful. The design of this home in here, it just feels very modern and very clean and open, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And it was specifically designed like that. I was so worried about a small house feeling really tight. So it's all about feeling bright and airy, even though it's a very small area, small house.
So when you were designing this home, what were the elements in here that you just had to have? What was really important to you in your house?
I wanted light Light was really a big thing. In my place in North Van, we were surrounded by lots of trees, which is wonderful, but it was dark. And I just felt that, I wanted to be able to see out and see what the weather's like. I wanted to be able to see green, but not feel really enclosed. And so that was one of the main things. And then the other thing was storage. So that's why we had the built-in couches. And so I wanted storage that I could put things here, all my outdoor gear, my ski gear and art supplies and things, all can fit into these drawers. And then I have a very small closet here, but this is just for jackets and boots and things like that. So that was basically all that I asked for.
So we've entered into your living room space. Talk to me about the design in here.
So we have built-in couches for the kids to crash, and people can just lounge here. I never thought we would have a lot of people here, but I've hosted parties that are 14 or 15 people. Because it's sunken, people just sit along here on the steps,
Right.
on the stairs, and very casual, and we can fit in a lot of people. And in the summertime, it moves outside onto the 2 patios.
Yeah.
And the floor is heated, and so that's a wonderful bonus that I had asked for. So that's my little extra special thing.
Absolutely. And this is a polished concrete floor as well, isn't it?
Polished concrete.
Beautiful.
Yeah. The step here is just made from a single slab of old growth timber, and it was rescued from some construction or demolition site. And it's just a beautiful contrast with the concrete. And it's a really heavy piece of wood so that it holds up to traffic, people walking on it all the time.
Beautiful. And then over here we have your dining space.
My dining / work area / everything. It's got a beautiful view out here, and it just feels very spacious. I do get a lot when we have people over. We have extra chairs, which are stored over there underneath the deck, and we get quite a few people sitting here. And then I have this Galley Kitchen, which I was really worried about having a small kitchen, and then when they were framing it, I just couldn't believe that I could actually have something that was functional and usable, and I can have two or three people that are working here back to back. There's lots of space. The fridge is tiny, but it's only me that usually lives here, so that's okay. And
That's not so tiny.
I notice it's tiny when the kids come over and the food consumption skyrockets.
Gotcha.
But otherwise, day to day, yes, you're right, it's fine.
A good sized oven and stovetop?
Yep, that's great. And then the dishwasher is tiny, and I love it. It's hidden away perfectly. It matches all the other drawers. So I'm really happy with that.
And you touched on this before, but the whole kitchen and dining space does just open out onto this lovely garden. Are you the gardener here?
I'm not the gardener, my mom is. I just cut the checks, basically. And there's some beautiful little things in there, and she also starts a lot of things from seeds.
And having this large window just open out onto that private courtyard garden gives such a sense of serenity to the home.
It does. And it just makes it feel bigger, too. So you don't feel like you're in a box, which is really nice.
And then over here we have your stairway, and it's wonderful how you've created this feature out of the circular window.
Yeah, and it's actually something that people that walk up and down the alley, they always comment on that window. So it's just a plastic layer that's been put on there on all of these windows for privacy. So I get lots of light, but I can't see out and they can't see in.
And the way that the stairs are done in here, it really helps to keep the space feeling very open.
And that was deliberately decided on because I didn't want to have a narrow passageway going upstairs. It would just feel very enclosed. And so they came up with these poles that go here. So there's only a few of them that are actually for support. The rest of them I think are just to keep that beautiful line going. And then the bleached wood is just to keep that light, airy feeling going. I just like that wood to reinforce that there's a lot of nature that's involved.
Yeah. Oh, it looks really nice how that's been done. And can we have a look upstairs?
For sure.
After you. This drum is really cool here. They're like a work of art. Can you tell me about that?
It is a work of art. This was done by my son. This was his first drum, and according to Indigenous tradition, you give your first creation, just like your first kill of a deer or something, to an elder. and he must have considered me an elder. So this is where it's being stored right now.
And then with the bathroom, it's really fantastic how this full-length light panel just lets so much light in here.
It's really nice. I was really worried about it, even with that opaque plastic cover on it, that people would still be able to see me at night.
Right,
I'd
yeah.
be backlit sort of thing. And I was saying to my designer, I'm going to look like, a James Bond opening sequence. I was really worried. And she goes, but everyone wants to be in an opening James Bond sequence.
That was how you got convinced?
No, but I think about that every time I go. And so I just put a towel over the light because that's acting like a spotlight. And it's fine. Nobody can see anything.
It really is a wonderful way of just making the space feel so much more open. And again, one of the things that I really love about your home is all of the interesting lines and shapes that are created with where the walls and ceilings meet each other. And again, that's really happening well in this room.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And we have the washer and dryer here. That's hidden away.
That is very cleverly hidden away
Yeah.
there. And then we have your bedroom in here. And again, there is just a tremendous amount of storage in here, isn't there?
There is. There's lots of cupboards, drawers down here, and then my favorite, which is this large one that's up here.
Oh, wow. This is kind of like the tiny house version of an attic, isn't it?
This is my attic, that's right. So I need a very tall person like you or a step stool to get up to put stuff in there.
Brilliant. I really love how in this home and coming into this design process, you really knew what was important to you and you really made sure that those things were built into this space so that you'd be happy here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I've been very happy with it.
And then you've got your heated floors up here as well.
Yes, and to me it's like a luxury. But I figure I've put in so much money into building a house, just a little bit more, and it just makes it so nice on a wintry day. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, fair enough. So talking about the money, what was the cost of building this home?
This was about $400,000, and it ended up being totally about $500,000.
Yeah.
So way more than I expected.
But you can see that all throughout this home, you have very high quality finishings.
Yes.
It's architecturally quite a masterpiece in terms of the shapes and the lines of this home. It's all a little bit complicated to build, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So how long have you been living here now?
I'm trying to remember. I think it's about 3 years.
Right.
Yeah, and then it took about 1.5 years to build. That was
Gotcha.
a long time. Yeah.
And how are you adjusting to living in the smaller space?
Surprisingly, it was very easy, but probably because I had 1.5 years living in my mom's house where I lived in a nook and lived out of boxes. And so when I came here, it was like, oh, I got so much space. So it was an easy transition. And because I had gone from my big house to a nook in her house, that was the hard part. And then going from there to here was a very easy transition. Well, I think it was the downsizing from the big house to my mom's house that made me realize how little I need and how little of things are important to me. And I realized that living in a huge house, it's all about where you can store your stuff and about getting more stuff, the latest furniture and, you know, beautiful paintings to go on the wall and the bigger TV. And when I got rid of all of that, I didn't miss any of it. So that was a big learning curve for me. And I'm realizing that I'm very happy with a lot less, that's a big lesson. And I think that the living situation that we've made now between my mom and this house, that now my kids can come and visit her all the time, it's really special. And I get to be near her when she's healthy or not healthy. She's always around, and so she gets to feel a part of my life. It's really special, and I really wish that more people would do this.
This home really is just so beautiful. I can see how much love and attention was poured into the design and the construction, and I can see that it really is a home that just perfectly fits you and your needs. Thank you so much for sharing it with me.
You're most welcome. Thank you for coming.
My pleasure. The design of this home really is brilliant. It's beautiful, it's light, it's spacious, it's efficient. But what I really love about it is the way that it connects Tamiko with her mother. So much of home is connection with family and those people who are important to us. And that's really what this house has focused on and done so very well.